Have you ever looked at a situation and thought, how is this still happening? That's exactly where things stand with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Every few weeks, there's something new. Whether it's a PR stunt that backfires, a strange rebrand, or another member of their team suddenly calling it quits. And now there's a number that's hard to overlook. 20 staff members gone. That's right. Since Harry and Meghan stepped down from their royal roles, 20 people have either left on their own or were quietly let go. At this stage, it doesn't feel like a steady team anymore. It's more like a revolving cast in a workplace reality show. Let's be honest, everyone has tough days at work, but when more than 20 people leave under the same two leaders in just 5 years, it's no longer just a rough patch, it's a pattern. And we're not even talking about interns who only stayed for a summer.
Now, you imagine working in a team like that, where 1 minute we're doing this thing, but then we're doing this.
These were highly qualified professionals, strategists, social media managers, heads of operations, people who were introduced with glowing press releases, only to disappear before they even had a real chance to show what they could do. You'd think at some point someone might pause and consider, maybe it's not them, maybe it's us. But no, not in Montecito. Sure, we can laugh about it, and trust me, we will, but the bigger issue here is how Meghan and Harry keep bringing in top-tier talent, only for those same people to run off faster than Harry at a royal engagement.
None of us are believing it.
No.
We're just thinking, this is so lightweight. This is not a businesswoman. She's talking all the time about being a businesswoman, but she's not showing that she's a businesswoman.
Absolutely. It's wild these aren't random hires pulled from Craigslist. They're professionals from major companies like Netflix, Spotify, and global PR firms, yet nothing ever sticks. The announcements are always the same: visionary, leader, strategic powerhouse, industry veteran. And then 6 months later, silence, gone, no follow-up, no achievements, just another name added to the ever-growing Sussex staff graveyard. And just when you think it couldn't get more bizarre, here comes the cherry on top: that infamous twerking video. Yes, an actual twerking video reportedly pitched by an agency brought in to elevate Meghan's lifestyle brand. Apparently, that's when the latest round of exits began, because nothing screams luxury and timeless elegance like a cringeworthy clip better suited for TikTok than a premium brand. Honestly, it's hard to even imagine the meeting where that idea was pitched and approved, who came up with it, and who actually thought, yep, this will fix everything. Spoiler, it didn't. What makes it even more surreal is how Meghan and Harry keep blaming everyone but themselves. High staff turnover? Must be sabotage. PR disasters? Blame the media. Failed projects? Oh, that was always part of the plan. But at some point, the finger pointing runs out, and the only common factor left is them. Then there's the financial side. Each new hire comes with a paycheck, a non-disclosure agreement, and likely a severance package. And when you multiply that by 22, it becomes a serious money drain. People don't just leave quietly, especially not when they were brought in to save a brand that's been in a downward spiral for years. And it raises real questions about deeper issues: money troubles, creative clashes, or maybe just toxic leadership. At this point, it's not even about whether Harry and Meghan are likable. The real question is whether anyone still wants to work with them, because that number, 22, isn't subtle. It's screaming dysfunction, no matter how many polished Instagram posts or inspirational quotes they share. And yet, they keep acting like everything's fine. Maybe the real royal drama was never at Buckingham Palace. Maybe it's playing out in a beige office somewhere in California. What's truly strange is how out of touch Meghan and Harry seem, like they're living in a self-created PR bubble where they believe they're reinventing fame while the rest of us watch the circus in real time. It's this odd blend of denial and overconfidence that keeps their empire from totally collapsing, just wobbling endlessly. And you'd think after the 15th resignation they'd take a hard look at themselves, but instead it's just more press releases, more rebrands, and another new chapter in this never-ending episode of Sussex. Take Arkwell, for example. This was meant to be their flagship venture, a mix of nonprofit, production company, and vaguely branded mission hub that would launch Meghan and Harry as global changemakers. But in reality, no one knows what it actually does. Aside from a few podcast episodes, some blurry charity visit photos, and loads of aspirational buzzwords, there's been little in terms of concrete results. While behind the scenes, the staff keeps walking out. Heads of strategy, communications, directors, even their social media manager reportedly left before that infamous twerking video ever surfaced. And honestly, she probably ran for the door. The way they handle these departures is always the same: the polite, hollow statement that someone is pursuing new opportunities and they're grateful for the contributions. But after seeing that exact line 20 times in 5 years, it starts to mean nothing. Are we really supposed to believe that all these highly skilled professionals just happen to leave the most headline-generating couple in royal history for no real reason? It just doesn't add up. What makes it even more baffling is how Meghan and Harry keep spinning every failure as a strategic pivot, like the awkward jam jar launch under American Riviera Orchard, which was supposed to mark Meghan's elegant return to the lifestyle space with a Montecito twist, but ended up being nothing more than a shiny Instagram post and a rumor storm, with no real business structure, no product rollout, just a pretty name, a gold label, and a bunch of confused influencers who thought they were part of a weird prank. Spoiler alert, they were. It's a pattern now. Big announcement, awkward silence, quiet retreat, whether it's Harry's one-off Spotify podcast followed by radio silence, or Meghan hyping up archetypes only to release a few heavily edited interviews before abandoning the project, and it honestly feels like they're addicted to the announcement stage while completely neglecting the follow-through. And what's most frustrating is how they still position themselves as victims. The media is cruel, the palace is hostile, the staff just didn't get the vision, but sympathy has its limits, and eventually people start asking basic questions. Like why they need a full comms team when they barely communicate, why they keep hiring top-tier strategists if they're just going to ignore their advice, and how many times can you call yourself misunderstood before people begin to wonder if the real issue is simply bad leadership. This isn't even about royal protocol anymore. It's about professionalism, consistency, and basic respect for the people who work for you. And if 22 respected professionals, hired with high hopes and serious credentials, all decided to walk away, then maybe the problem isn't the system. Maybe the whole brand was broken from the start. There's something oddly poetic in how Meghan and Harry set out to build their own empire, free of palace rules and titles, only to find themselves caught in the same dysfunction they claim to be fleeing, except now it's self-inflicted. No tradition to blame, just a string of poor choices, PR chaos, and what seems like a non-stop identity crisis. The cracks aren't just visible anymore, they're spreading, and every new move they make feels reactive, like tossing spaghetti at the wall just to see what sticks. One week it's a sleek rebrand, the next it's a teary-eyed interview, then a half-baked product launch followed by another tone-deaf media stunt or some random award show appearance, and the result is narrative whiplash, not a brand strategy. Meanwhile, the dream team they once relied on, the people hired to shape their public image, manage crises, pitch ideas, and rebuild perception are gone, either pushed out, burned out, or quietly ghosted, and what's left is this constant sense of panic disguised as polish. They're not leading a brand anymore, they're trying to contain a fire. And the real irony is they had every advantage at the beginning: name recognition, goodwill, elite connections, the media's attention, all of it handed to them. And instead of building something meaningful, they chased headlines over substance, control over collaboration, and it's cost them, one staff member at a time. People in the industry talk, especially in high-profile circles, and when that many people leave the same place that quickly, the whispers get loud, not just about chaos or confusion, but about toxic culture, relentless micromanagement, and ambition without direction, and eventually, no salary is worth surviving in that kind of mess. The sad truth is, this slow implosion has become their brand, not on purpose, but gradually, over time. And now that's what people expect. Not leadership or innovation or impact, but drama, endless and exhausting drama, somewhere buried. Under all of this is probably a genuine story of two people trying to reclaim their narrative, but that version keeps getting lost in a blur of missteps, vanity projects, and an obsession with proving something that no one's really asking for. And if there's any hope left, it's not going to come from another big hire or some polished reintroduction tour. It's going to take real accountability, quiet rebuilding, and maybe even stepping out of their own spotlight long enough to figure out who they truly want to be, because until that happens, we're just watching the slow collapse of what could have been something remarkable. And the most tragic part of all is that they're still holding the pen.